Hello guys, I'm on the channel. Today we're going to review Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Not much to say, but go check out my Man of Steel review, and going to be more coming pretty soon. Quantamania will be coming out soon, and let's get started. Starting off with this movie's about picking up kind of right where Man of Steel left off. You see the world sort of react to Superman. You see they're thinking to yourself, what should Superman do? And the world's thinking, what should Superman do? As he's making mistakes, it's not perfect. As this sort of God that just came down on us. And it kind of plays around with that. And also you have Batman, who's this person, or Bruce Wayne, who's completely against Superman and what he's doing. And wants to, not exactly eliminate him, but sort of, yeah, I guess eliminate him, and then has his visions of the future of what could happen, and you sort of see that all play out. Mixing with that, you got Lex Luthor, who's trying to get rid of Superman and sees this as him as a false god or someone that is here to ruin the world, and you sort of see all that play out. Now I have the good, and starting off the good, I'm just going to go right into it. The actions and the effects are great. I think every single Batman action sequence is great. You have the warehouse fight, which is absolutely amazing. It's probably the best Batman action sequence we've ever gotten. It's either that or some of the ones from the new Batman movie. And also you have the Batman v Superman fight, the Doomsday fight. It's fantastic, and the effects are really cool there. Also, not with Batman, but you also have the bit in the desert with Lois Lane and Anatoly Kaniza. You also have the car chase with the Batmobile, the one in the Future Dream or whatever it's called with the army suit. That one's really cool. Just all the Batman fights, and Zack Snyder can just bring action on the screen. And just like Man of Steel, he does a great job here. And also the effects just look great. There's this one shot of Batman like on the side of a building, gripping with the what's it called, the bat gripper thing, whatever the bat latch, whatever you want to call it, the batter. No, that's not right. It doesn't matter. And that's like pulled straight out of the comics, and Zack Snyder just does a great job here. And also, I think the way what the world has to do and how do they react to Superman kind of was what they were talking about Man of Steel, and here now it's kind of talking about what should Superman be allowed to do and what should he not be, and how does the world perceive him now. And I think all of that's done really well. When we're asking all these questions is what should Superman do, and I think that all plays out really well with that whole arc. And the way Lex Luthor is into it. I used to hate Jesse Eisenberg in the role. I still don't think he's the perfect casting, but I think I've started to grow accustomed to him a bit more in rewatches. So now I'm like, he's okay, but I like his master plan, like him involving like taking the Zod's DNA out of the whole thing and then creating Doomsday. I think is really interesting. Also, the Kryptonite Spear involved in there is interesting. I think the story as a whole works well. And even though there's so many plot lines, but I'll talk about that later. Also, you got the introduction to both Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and both are fantastic in their roles. Ben Affleck, I think, is one of my more favorite Batmans, I would say, and he was great right from the start. He's just big, bulking guy, and the bat suit just looks great. And this probably is my favorite bat suit, although the Pattinson one, also one of the Nolan ones, the one in the Dark Knight also is really good. And then you also have Wonder Woman, nice introduction to her. And I don't love the whole Justice League setup thing in this movie, but I think it works well enough, and it's 3 hours, so like it's not that big of a deal. It's a long setup movie. There you go. Yeah. So I think the good overall, I think it's just there's just so many action sequences that are just great and memorable, and there's just so many great sequences. The cast is great overall. Henry Cavill's great Superman. I don't love Jesse Eisenberg, but I started to like him more over time as time goes on. It just kind of does this crazy, more crazy Lex Luthor, but he's also very like, but I'll get into that later. So overall, I actually do really enjoy this one, and I think it's fairly good for them. I think it's good for the most part, but it is definitely not without issue. First thing I'm going to talk about is like 3 big things. I still think there are too many plot lines. It starts out as kind of like a Superman movie with Batman, then it's Batman versus Superman, and now we're doing a Justice League setup. You could have probably taken the Justice League setup out of it, because like it just feels kind of tacked on there. I mean, it's nice to see Wonder Woman, but like you also have the Flash and the Cyborg and Aquaman Aquaman, that little scene, or 2 scenes or whatever. And did that need to be there? Yes and no. I mean, it makes sense, but you could have also just set it up in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, or I guess it makes sense for how that played out. So, I don't know. The second thing, I still don't care for Jesse Eisenberg. I've started to grow accustomed to him, but there's still some weird things, like him shoving a Jolly Rancher into the guy's mouth. He's kind of like, he's like very, I can't think of the word, like he's like Clark Kent meeting Bruce Wayne. Clark Kent meeting Bruce Wayne. It's just like he just doesn't feel like he was casted right, but at the same time, he's good for what he does. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, when he's going the full-on crazy, he does a good job with that, and I think there are elements of this character I do like, but overall, that doesn't quite work. Also, I feel like there's still some plot holes, like how did Lex Luthor get in there so easily? Like, I know he built the kryptonite thing, but they wouldn't just let him go in there logically. And then also, like, how does Batman even with that suit still hold a chance against Superman even before the kryptonite? I don't know. There's still some things that don't make sense here, but I do think overall it was a good movie. And also, how does Wonder Woman stand that good of a chance against Doomsday? And how is her shield not this game? I don't quite know, but overall, I do quite enjoy this movie, even though it is flawed. I do admit it. It's not perfect. And also, like, the first, I want to say, half of the movie, really before the White House gets blown up, I still think it's kind of like whatever. It doesn't really like quite keep going until like halfway through the movie. There are some good sequences like or I guess really until like car chase. I guess it's not that good. You have the whole Batman futuristic sequence. Really, it's just the first hour of this movie isn't that good. Plain simple. Also, one other thing, I don't like how the Superman died plotline, or that whole thing, the death of Superman. I don't think it fits in. I mean, I guess it makes sense for what happens in Justice League, but it's still like, why did you put that in there? I still question it for sure, but I guess it works well enough. But in lead up to for the movie itself, it works well, but it doesn't feel like we've had enough time with this character for him to warrant that kind of death scene and being emotional. Maybe if it was the third installment, I think it would have been okay, but it's only the second, so like, alright, Superman dies. Okay. Next. But, I guess it works well enough. For this movie's final score, I give it a 7.8 out of 10. It has some amazing action sequences, some good character building, and I think it builds up the universe of the DCEU, continues it pretty well, but overall, it definitely has its issues, and some of them are hard to look past. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, for example, but, I do think I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it, even though it's long. It's not the easiest to sit through, and if you're wondering why I've not been handling it well through this video, is because I have a cold. So, yeah. Gonna get some more reviews out pretty soon, including Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantamania, Suicide Squad might be coming out soon, and Justice League. And, yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. See you guys next time. Adios.